Hi. Tinashe started doing that shoulder drop thing where, yes, where you pick him up and he's like, and he can slip right around wherever he likes. So anyway, it's been interesting this morning. I wanted to talk a little bit this morning about, yes, primary sources and what they are and how you might analyse them. Yes. So, do you think so? Do you want to take over? Okay. Are you done? Don't heckle me. All right, so primary sources are sources written at the time of an event or by an eyewitness who witnessed an event. So historians look to those to get an understanding of people's experiences of different times and places. So great examples are photographs. Photographs are a great primary source. Newspaper articles are considered primary sources. Memoirs, usually written by first-hand, as a first-hand account of different things. What else can I include? Are you right? Honestly, you're mad today. This is what it's been like when I've been on Zoom meetings. I don't know how anyone's supposed to get anything done. Yeah, so primary sources. So the ways you might think about analysing them. Do you mind? To think about who the intended audience was, that of the person who was writing it. Why were they witnessing the event, or what was their involvement in it in the first place? Do they have a vested interest in presenting a particular point of view? So one example of that would be those early explorers that I was talking about a couple of days ago, last week. They were often writing reports for government or public consumption. So those versions usually were quite different to the letters. Yes, to the letters that they wrote home to their families. Am I not paying you enough attention? So that's one example. With the newspaper reports, that's another thing again. So like, you'll get a particular point of view. Depending on what newspaper it is, they might be presenting a more left-wing stance or a more right-wing stance in order to get published. Yeah, have a biscuit. That'll keep you out of mischief. So, yeah, those are those. And then with memoirs and autobiographies, that sort of thing, often people are trying to preserve a certain legacy somehow, either for themselves or their families. So that's worth keeping in mind too. Or they might have another agenda. Actually, the first example that comes to my mind is the autobiography that Barack Obama wrote. Yes, which came out before he got elected president. And so, and I remember my American dad, Dale, telling me about it and being like, this guy's worth watching. Yes, and that book was able to raise his profile. Do you mind, honestly? You are such a heckler today. Yes. Do you have something else to say? Yes, I'm really in trouble when you start talking. Yes, all right. I'm gonna have to tag Saffron in this because she will love it. Anyway, so that's primary sources. Secondary sources are when you've got a historian coming in and using all those primary sources as well as the other sources written by historians, and so they're entering into a debate with other with other scholars in particular about certain things. So they may present a new version of events, a revisionist version of history, a different perspective. So yes, they might be in a certain school of thought. So in the 1960s in particular, you get like more Marxist historians telling stories, histories of people, like more ordinary people rather than kings and queens, that sort of thing. Yes, and that's when you get the more... I've got like biscuit dribble all over my chin. Thanks, bud. So yes, and Paul Thompson's work is what I'm thinking of. I think, yes, Paul Thompson and the working class histories of Britain. Who else can I use as an example? For Ness and Steve, Studs Terkel and his work on oral histories. We will never forget those from Tim Minchin's classes. What would Studs do is what we often asked ourselves. And he did amazing oral history work on the US. So those oral histories too are considered primary sources. Yes, and with those and memoirs, yes, and autobiographies, you've got to think about the impact of memory. The impact of memory and how a person's perspective on an event can change over time as well. So what life events did they go through that might have changed the way that they saw their past as well. So, yeah, oh, you want to play with my hair now? Very good. Thank you, darling. All right. You're truly my co-presenter today. Yes, I'll play with yours too. How's that? All right, so I think that's about all I can think of to say. And in the interest of preserving my hair, I will, yeah. Do you want to play again? Do you want to do something fun? All right. Yes, do you want to do something? He loves music, so might do some, put on the Wiggles or something like that. Yes, or practice some walking. Yes. Are you good? All right. Signing off. We'll see you later.